Welcome to the July work session for the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. This is July the 9th, 2026. I'll call this meeting to order. Asking for public comments. Seeing no one in the audience, we will move forward to the approval of the minutes for the June 4th, 2026 work session. Are there any corrections to these minutes? Hearing none, those will be approved as presented. Now we're going to move into our department reports. And first, Jack, I would like to say thank you to your guys out there this morning. They're weed eating around the square, and we just appreciate that so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Those guys do a good job. So I can't take credit for any of it. It's on them.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, they take a lot of pride in what they're doing. So.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll get right into it. We've got several things here. First thing, I think you guys have you've seen the vehicles that we're trying to go to for Gov deals. I'll just go through them real quick. One is a 1998 knuckle boom. The boom has gotten beyond safe-wise. We don't want anyone using it. The truck is, well, 1998 speaks for itself. Still a pretty good truck itself, but we can maybe get a little something for it on Gov deals. We need to clear it out. The next one's a 2003. That kind of speaks for itself as well. But the frame and the bed and all on this truck is rusted. It used to be our salt truck, and I guess it's taken its toll over the years. We don't feel safe pulling anything with it, so we'd like to get rid of it, sell it as is, and maybe bring a little something. The other one is a 2014 the old garbage truck. They pretty well stripped it, everything they could get out of it, to band-aid the other truck, the other load all. What we like to do with this one is just the same as we did the other one. You guys let us get rid of it. It's not road. We can't even. You can't pull it. We can't do anything with it. We would like to just scrap it. And what we do the other, instead of paying a tow bill of $600 or $700, have someone just come get it and take it away for us, and then they can scrap it and scrap the title. That's our thought on that one. Number 4 is that's a roller, vibrating roller. We no longer do any paving at Public Works. Years back, they had a small paving machine, and we used our roller, but for the most part, what I've gathered over the years, we've loaned it out, and we haven't used it at all, so I don't see the need for us to keep it. It's still a good piece of equipment. I think the city could get a little money on it on Gov deals as well. So those are the 4. So I have one more. If you guys are good with all that, we'd like to move those forward, and just, I guess you guys would vote on that, right? Okay.
I'm okay with moving it forward.
Yeah. Okay, so there's one more that I want to talk about. I didn't get in there. So this truck, if you guys remember, you let us buy a ton truck. We were in need of a flatbed last year. It's kind of an emergency purchase. If you remember talking about those, when they bought these two, I call them the sister trucks. They were both lemons from the start. This is the other truck that went with that one. This is a 2016 flatbed we use for our goosenecks, but you guys did give us a capital request to buy a new ton truck, and you gave us $50,000 to buy the truck we're getting to replace that one. As you can see, it's in the garage. It's no longer usable. My chief mechanic has said the brake system is completely gone. He said we're looking at anywhere from $25,000 to $3,000 to replace the brake system on it, and still no guarantee it's going to work. They have the same issue with the brakes on a Tahoe, one of the police cruisers, being a Chevrolet. So they thought they had that brake system fixed. As soon as they took it out, Billy Brazier took it out, first stop sign, it went right through the stop sign, no brakes. So we don't feel like this truck needs to be back out and use it all for us. It has that issue. It has the same as a transmission issue. So it's pretty much just not worth the money to put into it. But to get it worthy, to get us to use it till our other truck comes, we're looking at around $3,000 to put into it. So the issue with the truck that we're looking at, that you gave us the money to get, we're looking at late 1st of November to receive it. So I found the other truck that's ready, just like the flatbed we want. It's a brand new truck. It's a 25 model, but it's brand new. Everything applies as new. That truck is going to be 55,000, I think is what we're looking at. So there's a difference, a little bit of difference there. I was talking with Natalia, so in the we could use the sanitation, out of sanitation fund balance, is that right? We could put with the 50 that you guys have given us, and we could have that truck delivered to us as soon as next week. The truck we're substituting for right now is a 3/4 undersized truck pulling our goosenecks. It has no air condition, and it's on its last leg as well. So that's kind of where we're at. I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
What year is this truck, Jeff?
Which one?
This one, what year is that?
That is a 16.
Funding is coming from where again, please?
From sanitation fund balance. Right, okay.
50,000 was already appropriated for the purchase for capital. So he would just have to pay the remaining 35,000 from sanitation.
So instead of waiting, we're just getting one that's already ready. You don't have
Right,
to
it's
wait
ready to
for
go.
it to-
Yes, Jeff, I talked to them, and it's ready to go, and they will deliver it to us as soon as they had a PO. It's the same exact truck. It is a 25, but it's got 12 miles on it, so it's ready. And the truck that you guys approved us for is now, it was 50,000 what we got, but actually now, I guess, when I got those quotes and asked for it back then, so now the quote with the bed is gone up a little bit, so what we're looking at, if we stick with that plan and wait till November to get it, it's 51.4, so the difference of around, to get the truck we need right now is difference of around $3,500. Or we can invest in the one that you're looking at, and it's dead in the water, so.
What are we doing with this one? What are you planning on doing with this one?
Dave, chief mechanic, has suggested that we put it on Gov Deals at scrap. He said he don't want to put his name on it, and I don't think the city would either, as put it out there to sell it on Gov Deals and have someone buy it from us, and that's the condition that it's in. As scrap, the bed on it's probably worth more than the truck, so it would bring us something. It would bring, we were talking with some dealers, $2,000 or $3,000 probably, as it is.
You can't trade it.
And not touch it. We won't do anything to it, just go as is. So,
What's the new truck? Is it a Chevrolet again?
mhm. It's just like the one it's the exact truck that we purchased earlier that we have now in service, that you guys got us for emergency purchase.
The same style as this one right here?
Mhm.
You said the same style as this one right here, that,
Yeah.
Is it a diesel? Well, that was gas. Gas or diesel?
I can't hear you.
Is it gas or diesel?
Oh, it's gas, yeah. We talking with the chief mechanic. The biggest issue we've had in that truck there is a prime example, and the one that we replaced last year, is diesels. They don't work in the city. I mean, you're taking these short trips, you got to get a diesel out and you got to let it burn. So we're trying to go everything that we can in gas burners, because that's the huge issue that we're having with all these trucks. They stay in the shop because issues caused by diesel death, regen and all that stuff.
Maybe we'll get enough off of Gov Deals with all these equipment and vehicles to make up the $5,000 that you're asking for additional to go ahead and get the truck.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
good with
fine.
that to get you what you need. That's,
So I understand clearly that the truck that we were getting in November, that'll be a term, that will be terminated. And we'll just be getting the truck that you're looking at right now.
Yeah.
Instead.
Yeah, because the truck that we're using until we get this second ton truck, like I said, it's an undersized truck. It shouldn't even be on there. Of course, it has no air, and it's just rough on those guys. But that's really not the issue. It has its own mechanical issues, and it's undersized as a 3/4 ton to be pulling those goosenecks. So we're limping by with it as well.
So everyone's okay with adding this truck 2016 to Gov Deals?
You say this is 2016, I mean, when you say listed as scrap, you're not gonna put on Gov Deals scrap
Yep.
and then list the truck, are you?
Yeah, we would put it up.
With it being a 2016, and if it just needs brakes, then that's a $3,500 fix. I would list it as a 2016 Chevrolet diesel truck with flatbed and put on there that it needs brakes.
Or
rather
as
than
is.
just list it.
Okay,
Because if you list it as scrap, then they're gonna think everything's junk.
right,
Anything.
okay.
And you're not
Yeah,
gonna
we
get.
can do that, as long as, like I said, Dave Warren, chief mechanic, his biggest concern is our liability to make sure that if we put it out there, so they understand, you know, this thing is a dangerous truck, and as long as
As long as we list it.
Okay,
the fact that
that's fine.
The brakes bad.
Okay, we'll do that.
That takes away our liability, 'cause
Okay,
at the sheriff's department, I mean, we had some that was like really scrap, but, you know, if they needed a transmission or
Right.
something like that, we just listed it in the description of the.
so as long as we disclose it, that would, okay, that's fine. Yeah, And it would probably, it would probably bring us a little more, I see what you said, yeah, okay. And that would take the liability away as long as we disclose all mechanical
I mean, if you got the
issues
disclosure.
down here, so, I'm assuming,
I can look at whatever.
yeah. We'll let you look at it when we put it out there. Okay,
I mean, I'm for it. I think we'd get more
Yeah.
if we list what the problem is.
okay, yeah, that's fine,
Straight scrap.
okay,
Or we always, these are out on the hill there.
okay, that sounds good.
Good.
All right.
So everyone's okay, we'll move this to Tuesday night? Okay.
All right. Next thing is street name change. You guys got, I guess you've got the, so if you look at the drawing that I've sent you, you see the red line in there. That's the municipal boundary for the county and city limits. So talking with Ernie Qualls, 911 director, so the issue we have, the county has gone ahead and named the street, the road, you know, they're built the bridge, Beer Mill Bridge. So that road will now connect straight from Wilson Parkway to Bonita Road. So they've named their section Peggy Bells Drive. So that leaves our section, if you're looking where I'm showing in the blue there, is still, actually it's William Battle Boulevard. So we have a separation of street names between that small section there. So all we're proposing is to go ahead and name our section Peggy Bells Drive as well, and have that one continuous, it just cleans it up for 911. It won't affect any addresses. There's no housing or anything that would affect. It's just naming that last section of that road Peggy Bells Drive. And that would need board approval to change that name. Okay. And something else, if everybody good with that, any questions?
I was gonna ask Johnny, I know in the past, we've had some things flare up when we tried to change names or add names, but the Bearden Mill, do you know if it has any large significance that, or was it just a location of a mill, or, you know, what is the name, anything that you know of?
It's William Battle of this
Yeah,
change.
see, everyone's always called, even I thought, we've always called it Bill Mill Bridge Road, or whatever, the gravel road, but it's actually William Battle Boulevard. Our section is, because, you know, William Battle Boulevard goes across. That's actually, according to Ernie Qualls, that's actually, that section is actually William Battle Boulevard. So I don't know if there's any significance there.
Okay, I see that. Okay, but, so there'll still be a William Battle on the north
Mhm,
side
on the
of
school side,
bypass.
right,
Okay,
right.
okay.
Mhm.
So I guess that would suffice for leaving that name the same.
I'll check that historical naming
Yeah.
situation
Pat?
between now and then. I wasn't really clear what we were doing here until now.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mr. Battle was a longtime educator in the city, county.
Well, to leave the one on the north, the William Battle on
As
the north
is.
side,
Mhm.
yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, because I knew that we need to check, okay. I was just thinking it's Bearden Mill, but it's William Battle, okay.
And according to Ernie Qualls, it's not something that has to be done, but I think for emergency personnel, it clears it up. It makes, you know, when you get called out, it's probably for clarification, you know, where you're going. That's what I was looking for. Okay.
Everyone, okay, we're moving that on to Tuesday. In the meantime, if Johnny will check on
I'll
anything.
let you know if I find something.
All right.
So one other thing I want just to bring your attention for its information only, if you'll notice at the bottom of the sheet, you know, now when you go through, we call it River Road, you can it's a gravel road, but you can come around and come on out the old Beard Mill Road. That road, according to Tim Gill, will be disconnected. It'll end up being a dead end so now when you come down River Road, you won't go through. And the reason he gave me is TDOT said that they can't make a good connection as it comes into the bridge right there. So it's gonna dead end from pretty much where you see the municipal boundary that, and I've talked to Chief Bergman, emergency personnel, now he has no issue with access for fire apparatus and all that. He says they can get in there. The roads do loop around, so he has no issues with, not being able to come through from the Wilson Parkway side. But that road will be disconnected. So that's just for your information.
The map shows a little section that has Bearden Mill on it, but that's not true, right?
I don't
Curtis
think-
Haskins goes all the way to the municipal boundary?
I don't think that's correct,
Okay.
Joseph. It's confusing out there. Some of it's River Road, there's some different, but so I just wanted to let you guys be clear on that. And that section is, they're dead, it's in the county, it's not, but it does affect us, so. Okay.
We'll move it on to Tuesday, and if Attorney Hill finds anything, he'll let us know.
All right. All right, as far as the report, just paving update, I met with Brett Dowd yesterday, see where they're at with our water lines. They're putting the priorities over on the section where we'd like to pave, like I've already been talking about over and over, Clay, Elmwood Circle, that area, we want to get some paving done there. Once they come back, we want to finish up, do some more on Washington Street that they're going to continue on there. They just have to pull out. So that's his priority. Right now, they're working cleanup, clearies. He met with them, trying to push them to do some cleanup and things like that. So, and then talking with Tony Gross, he says he can come back in, he's thinking in September, which it probably works best for us, a good time frame, because that way when he gets here, these other streets, they should be finished with the water lines, it should be good to go, and then we can get in there and do our thing. So, at this point right now, we really wouldn't even be ready for Tony to come in, so I think it's gonna work out okay. But we are working on it, and I know you guys probably get a lot of calls on these streets, but we have to be patient with it. Britt did say he's going to work with Cleary to do a good job of trying to follow up their own work to do a cleanup. So,
If we were to get the CDBG grant and we could pave Hedgemont, would it prioritize above Clay, Elmwood, and the rest of Washington? So say in September, they come back, would we do Hedgemont?
It would be ready.
Okay, that would be the priority.
By then, because it was on his list that's where they're going to move to next. That's one of the priorities that they're moving to. Hedgemont, he named Hedgemont, I think Clay, they're finishing up, going to work on them with those areas that we're talking about, because he knows, he knows where we're at, and so Hedgemont would be one that should be ready I don't know when that grant would even be.
We're probably here in November-ish.
Oh, okay, so it's after this.
So we should be well ready by then.
No, it's long overdue.
Long overdue. It's way past due right now.
Yeah, that grant hit, probably would look at that for the following year anyway, and on everything,
Yeah, so.
winter-wise.
So we should be good to go. And as far as the striping, they're on go to come finish out the striping. They just did the patterns, come and get the yellow striping on Washington, what was paved, and the stop bars and things. I think they're just waiting on to catch a couple of days of good weather, so we're just waiting on him. He's ready.
Is it the state or the guy that's coming to do Washington Street responsible for the white line here on College Street?
Yeah, I've talked with TDOT. They're gonna go ahead and black that out. There was some confusion why they put that in there. I'm not sure. They snuck it in there on us, so we gotta get that back out. And then, because we want to put a handicap parking spot in that corner, and that will totally take that out, so.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll get them to black that out. All right, that's all I have on that. As far as maybe just a little bit of an update over here on the south side fire, we have been constant communication with the property owners. I'm on go to give them a demolition permit when they're ready. Right now, where they're at, the building owners they have their attorneys. It's in their hands to decide. What they're trying to do is decide who's responsible for how much portion of we have quotes. So once the attorney decides how much area each one's responsible for, an agreement, and then they'll divvy it up and hopefully they'll get going. So that's where we're at on that.
We're gonna vote on that amount of time. I know we talked about that in our committee, about 10 days after that's decided,
Mhm.
have to have it done.
Yeah, and that's something we would want to throw at you guys. That's right. Thank you, Jeff. We talked about it in our committee, Jeff and Mike, we felt like once the attorneys do make that decision, we've been very lenient, I feel like, on the time frame. So their thought was, when the attorneys say, okay, this is what you're responsible for, they'll say, okay, we'll give them 10 days to get that demolition permit needs to be written by then, or else we can start implying some fines. If you guys think 10 days is good, I feel like it's fair enough.
Yeah, I think 10 business days.
Yeah, I
So
like
that's
that.
what we're-
Well, I think what I heard in the committee meeting was that the people who bid on doing the process said it would take anywhere from 3 to 4 days to
Right.
get it out.
Mhm.
The street would be closed, so I think 10 is very lenient, so.
Yeah.
But you're saying in 10 days to issue a permit, not to get it done.
Well, within that 10 days, they need to have a permit issued and the plan set to go. That's what we're, yeah.
Because you're gonna be at the mercy of the company or whoever's gonna be doing it into their schedule. But you at least need to have the plan in place.
Right, because I think once they decide how they're gonna do it, their contractor will have to set his schedule. So, I feel like within that 10 days, there should be a permit written. The contractor should have a time frame for us, and we should have, now, it may not be within that 10 days to get it done, but at least to say, I can get my crew in there in this time and have that time frame set. That's what I'm thinking. That's what you guys are.
I think that's good. Would it be removal of debris and fill back?
No,
They're
which is-
only responsible to go remove all the debris. They are not responsible for filling back the hole.
No, what you'll see is the old basements and probably some of the walls that separated the properties. And that's what we'll see until they decide what they're going to do for construction.
Because I think last month you mentioned that the street and sidewalk are falling into the pit, or hole,
Well,
whatever you want to call it, but
What's underneath our sidewalks has been compromised. It's undercut, because actually our sidewalk was dependent on the buildings we reported, so now that that's gone, ours is compromised as well. So we would have to come to a point, once we get there to look at it, reevaluate it, probably get an engineer like Croy or somebody to look and say, this is what's gonna take to just rebuild, just put our sidewalks back the way they should be, or we can let construction happen, let it be what it may, and then once the buildings are there, we can work with that. It's just a decision we're going to have to make. But to do a freestanding sidewalk, what we need, you're talking about retaining walls, you're talking about a lot of money.
yeah, well, that's what I'm concerned about, is because I think they have a time frame to go clean out the hole, but it could sit there. I mean, we don't have a time frame on them to do anything to fix it.
Mhm.
So now we're looking at a cost to the city to have to go
Yeah, and
either backfill or,
well, we're responsible to keep it secured, since, it's not going to be on them, because our sidewalks aren't safe. So we have to keep the fence you're looking at, you're probably looking at for a while, for the duration of some of the construction or some of the putback. Or unless we decide to do our sidewalks ourselves, have them independent, and then we can move the boundaries in, and then they'll have to protect their property. But right now, we have to protect everyone from our sidewalk because it's a danger. And we're going to have to keep providing the boundary, the fence, the security.
But the city is not responsible for the backfill.
No. No, that's on them.
yeah, but they
Whether
might not
they sell
backfill
it,
or not.
yeah.
It sounds like they're not required to go backfill it once they take the debris out.
No, because they may decide they want to keep the basement and build, like they had. That would be up to how they want to do the construction. But there's not anything that was going to require them to backfill it. Mainly just, we probably would start trying to push, what your plan for construction. I don't think we can force them to do anything beyond clean it out and at this point.
So we would just keep the sidewalk closed until
we'll
They
have to.
decide to do something.
If it's not, our plan was, to, once they got it cleaned out, we thought we could move our boundaries in, let them secure their property, and we could open up traffic again on our sidewalk. We can't do it once it's been looked at. We'll know more once they get it cleaned out enough to where we can look inside there and see. Some did have some type of retaining wall, but a lot of it was just backfill. Back in the day, I guess they backfilled against those buildings with just dirt and whatever, and our sidewalk were poured against the building.
Not to hold you to a number, Jay, but just what would you estimate it would be if we went ahead and don't wait on any construction from them and fix the sidewalk? Just
We'd
guess.
want it, so we'd want it back like it was, I'm assuming with a seat wall design and all, right?
I mean, I wanted to mad at you.
Yeah.
So let me put this response. I know tomorrow, is it tomorrow? The structural engineer's coming out, at the expense of Camille and Marks.
Mhm.
We are meeting, Jack, Jill and I are meeting with Troy at that, it's next Thursday.
Mhm.
So we'll have a better assessment of all of that too. So it's kind of hard to make a full estimate, because there's a lot of engineering in it.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
there's-
I mean, and it's one of those things, trust me, this is a daily conversation because things continue to develop. But before we get an engineer assessment, it's kind of unfair just to make even a ball or a kiss.
I just don't know the extent of what's gonna need to be, what could be salvaged, what could be good to pull back on, we don't know.
And we're spending a lot of time with Croy next Thursday, so we should know a little bit better by then. Their deadline is Tuesday to let us know with the initial, so, I mean, by Thursday, we should, I think we got most of the afternoon with Croy
Yeah.
Thursday.
And he can give us an idea of what we're looking at, maybe with some engineering thoughts on it.
Is it true that we have given the property owners to July the 16th to decide? And then it would be the additional 10?
14.
14?
That's their deadline.
Okay. So they have to make a decision how they're gonna split it, that's right?
Mhm. And they just put it in the attorney's hands, and they'll say, well, what the attorney says, what we'll do. So that's where they've gotten to. Okay, anything else? All right. Another thing, which I did bring up, to my committee, and Anna's been working on this, we brought this up before, but it just, we didn't really follow any further with it. We're gonna look for a secondary fuel source. We had an issue with Public Works a couple months ago where all of our suppliers couldn't get fuel. We were to the point of almost running out our tanks, but we didn't, we got lucky. And then recently, the tanks ran low and the system shut down for a day. So what we want to do is set up, and Anna's working on it, an account with Kent Properties out on the Pulaski Highway. They're 24/7, and it would be just for our city, all the city vehicles, that if something happens at Public Works, we have a backup source to go to, and they can go in. There's no issues with that, because all the directors are scrambling, trying to figure out how we're going to get, like Chief Bergman and Chief Benny, how we're going to get fuel, pay for it out of your pocket. So we'll have a backup source if something happens, basically. It doesn't take care of the rest of the agencies, the county and all. They'll have to fend for themselves, and we'll get the word out. But it's just something we're working on. I'll have the better details when we get together, and then something to bring you guys next month. So, but it's something we'd like to do. It's something we're going to have to do. It's just, so. That's just some information. And that's, I think that's all I got for you.
What about our sanitation truck?
Sanitation truck.
Yeah, he was
on-
trying
They
to
went
avoid
They
that.
went right past that.
There it is. No, actually, so the truck's in Lebanon, they're putting the tippers on it, and he says we'll have it next week.
Getting close.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I don't believe it until I see it on our streets.
I'm with you, Joe. I'll see it when it pulls up.
Yeah,
I believe
when I see it on one of our streets,
Yeah,
I'll see it.
I believe when she pulls up, so, but that's where we're at with that one, so.
Yeah, we got ribbon cutting. See a picture with you standing next to it with the keys in your hand.
And we did get it before October, it looks like.
Oh, I just want to get
I
pictures.
told
Besides that, we got a full crew, Public Works. We actually have a full three-man crew on sanitation. That's the first time we've ever had that. Thank you guys for letting us pick up another guy there. That's gonna help us, and that's all I got.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you.
Thanks.
Next, we have Commander Rodriguez with the Police Department.
Morning, Mayor and Board. Chief Jennings is out through next week, but we have moved a charitable solicitation permit forward with Cody Williams benefit. Is there any questions on that one?
What was it?
The Cody Williams benefit, the actual benefit will be in the county, but they're wanting to do some charitable donations inside the city. And we did approve that permit.
I think we have that.
Is that like a roadblock, like a,
My understanding from Chief Benny that he had brought that one
So
through.
those usually do not go through the board.
Oh, okay, all right,
Okay.
all right. Information only there in case y'all, get any calls or questions on that. But it won't be a roadblock. I think
Okay.
it's mainly businesses.
Oh,
There may be some over. The beverage board met on the VFW golf tournament permit. We did approve that one to go forward. We had one bid from Rusty Oak Armory for new rifles to replace our worn out ones. That bid was $29,258.90.
Okay, so we'll need to move that forward to vote on that. And we'll move the VFW event to approve. Okay,
The update for the department, we currently have four new officers. Two are still in processing. One has started her FTO process, and we have one that just reported to the academy on the 5th. As far as the police department, if there's no further questions, that's my report for them.
any police questions?
I was just gonna bring up, I know in finance, we talked about the gun sales, and just for the
It's a little
board's
weird, yeah.
edification. So there was a grant to send police officers to Toledo.
Cost sharing grant.
yeah,
That allows
so
us to replace and
Some of
flip
that
and-
grant money's coming back because we didn't send people, which will go towards these new raffles.
So no new money, it's
No
already
new
taken
money, it's
care
all-
of.
It's
Yeah.
not anything we're asking for money. We do have
Yep.
that grant in hand, and this will allow us to replace these worn rifles.
And the bid has already taken place, so
That
when we
is
take
correct.
it to Tuesday, it would be to approve the bid and purchase,
That is correct, yes, ma'am.
just for clarification there. Okay.
For animal control for the month of June, there were 7 calls in the city, 23 in the county. There were 9 dogs brought in from the city, 16 from the county. We had 13 adopted. We had 3 returned from adoption due to various reasons. We did have to have 2 euthanized. One was severely injured in a crash. They called me in the middle of the night on that one. We had to act on that, and then there was one that was very sick. We had 13 animals reclaimed. So far this month, we've transferred out 26. 6 of those went to Lawrence County's animal shelter and 20 to Horse Plus. Currently, we have 32 in shelter. We did just do a transport yesterday, so that number may have changed. I know Mr. Jack touched on, we have had some vehicle issues. His guys are working through that as best they can to keep us with cars on the road, but we have had several vehicle failures. And that's my report.
Any questions?
Her rifles you're getting, are they the law enforcement rifles?
Yes, they are. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move to Chief Burke Gardner, Fire Department.
Good morning. First on the agenda is the permission to apply for the PEP grant. This is a 50/50 grant. This allows whatever tier we are with our insurance, allows us to apply for these grants. We're in tier 3, which is up to $4,000, so they will reimburse $2,000. We're going to use these funds for already budgeted turnout gear, just to recruit about $2,000. Attached a sample resolution that you had to have to apply for that grant. The deadline for it is August the 14th. So I asked to move that forward.
Okay, we'll move that forward.
The next is my department update. We'll start with our apparatuses. I have word that our engine 1 is back together, running. It was actually en route to us, and the air conditioner, compressor, or something in the system quit working. So they turned around, went back to the shop just to try to figure out what the issue was on that. I haven't heard yet back on that, but I expect to either have it by the end of the week or the first of next week. That bill totaled out about roughly like $65,000 for the overhaul. It stung pretty hard for us. The other apparatuses are running very well. They're, still need some work on our ladder truck, but we're still monitoring that hydraulic leak. And it hasn't increased or anything like it, stayed the same. So we're still monitoring that. On our staffing, we offered a employment for a new firefighter. He has accepted. He starts Sunday. However, I did receive another notice yesterday. He has a better opportunity for financial for the city of Winchester. So his last day will be in 2 weeks, starting yesterday. So we'll apply, or actually start sending out notifications for employment and open it up to the public. Our recent hire was an internal hire from our part-time list. He was the only one that applied. He was one of the top candidates on the last hire, so it was pretty much just a process of transitioning from part-time to full-time. We're excited to have him. The other thing, the recent storms we had, I didn't get to mention this in my committee. Our generator had some kind of malfunction. It's going to be for information only right now because our technicians are en route to figure out what our problem is on that. I've kind of diagnosed it a little bit. I think we might have a battery issue, hopefully no mechanical issues. I think we might have had a seal go out that pushed some oil out of the engine to make it smell like it was real hot. But I think we have a battery issue, and I hope they can maybe put some seals in there and we don't have to replace it. That's what I'm hoping for. That generator is over 20 years old, so I'm hoping parts are still available. And that is my report.
Any questions?
I do have one.
Go ahead.
Full
Now's the
today.
time,
I'm
now's
full
the
today.
time.
You're the guy today.
So on engine 1, I believe the committee spoke, so will that recertify that truck since it's a total rebuild?
You have to do 2 major components on a fire apparatus to get a recertification. We're exploring that options to see how much it would cost to go ahead and rebuild the pump. But we're going to get the engine back to us and then let them get those quotes into us to let us decide, and I'll bring that, forward to make that decision. What that does allows us to get 10 more years out of that apparatus because you're only allowed 20 on the front line. So if you do 2 major components of that engine, it gives you 10 additional years. Right now with that new engine, we get 5 years, 100,000-mile warranty, which I'm sure the 5 years will come first. We're going to put 100,000 on the truck very, very far. So we're looking at that. Hopefully next month we'll have some answers for that, make that decision. If it's worth the cost.
Any other questions? Thanks, Chief. Parks and Recs Department, Director Browning.
Good morning.
Morning.
First is our clarification on our MOU through our summer youth program grant that went through from South Central. It is now going to be for the Tennessee Development, which the only difference is a $500 difference. Instead of them paying up to $3,500 per
youth, it's now just 30,000, which I don't think will even come close to that. So we talked about it in committee, thought it might be a good idea just to bring it up to the board for information, or if we need to pass it on for a vote.
Any questions on this? If not, we will move to Tuesday.
Okay. Next was our Independence Day celebration report. I think every year it just gets better and better. I was really pleased with the firework display, with the sound. They were able to have the music there. I think it was a great turnout. Yeah, I think we had the most we've had the past 2 years. So I hope you've received good feedback on it. We're always looking to make it better for the next year. So that, I do want to thank our rec crew. They worked tremendously, great amount that day specifically, along with the fire department, our police department. It was truly a city event. Many hands went into it, and I think overall it was a great experience for our community.
Yeah, I think it was great. And I think what's even better is that it's funded through our tourism, and tourism is funded through people who stay in our hotels. So we get an amazing fireworks show paid for by people that come visit us. So I think that's an even better deal.
I agree.
So, yeah.
I agree. Thank you.
And I asked this question, and, I mean, do we want to keep this solely as a city project? Or do you think maybe next year, if we could ask the county if they would like to add to the fireworks? Because there again, they get tourism money from the hotels, and it would just even make it a bigger show. I don't know if that's something that we could handle.
I would be more than happy to find out.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
I know that they will have a new leader at that time, so,
And we usually start planning for this around the 1st of October.
yeah.
So it'll give us some time to collaborate and get that going with the county. So
I don't know how the board feels about that, about asking.
We'll reach into the county's pocket.
Good luck with that.
You say like, yeah.
Good luck.
I think a good collaboration with the county.
Moving on. But I will check
I
on
mean,
that, Mayor.
you think about it, probably the percentage of folks that were there, the higher percentage is county.
Yeah.
It should be a, city-sponsored countywide event, absolutely. All joking aside, it's absolutely
I know everyone enjoys
full
it, even
community
people,
effort.
folks from other counties.
Yeah.
Come over. So, anything else on? And finally, Parks and Recreation Month is well underway in July. Miss Abby has created a little game for our citizens and residents. It's a Parks and Recreation Challenge checklist. The purpose is to get people in our parks, and the more they visit our parks, the better we feel if we can get folks from out of town to come in and really participate in what we have here in Fayetteville. I think it's going to be a good thing for everyone. So she's done a good job with that. We'll have prizes available. Last couple of years, I think we've had one of the prizes would be to have lunch with someone from the city. I think all city directors have been involved, the mayor's been involved, some aldermen have been involved with eating lunch with kids. So we'd like to continue to doing that as one of our prizes as well.
And where do they pick up the information for?
It's on our Facebook page. They can always call the rec center or come by the rec center. That's just one more opportunity we have to socialize with the folks around, them to come in and talk to us.
I'll also say, Nathan, so during the 250 celebration, Race to Maine happened as well. They put in at Frito and took out at Stonebridge. And so there's people out of town that came for that, and the park looked great, and it was a good, introduction of Fayetteville when they come out of the river and our parks look like that. So
Well, thank you.
I appreciate you and your guys and all the hard work. I think our parks are looking great, and
Thank you.
it's really testament to you and your team.
I appreciate it. It's our team. They do a tremendous job. I'm so proud of them. They're working, this morning at 6:15, I think they were outdoor getting ready to head over to the soccer field and also to, back to Stonebridge to do some cleaning. So, thank you. I'll pass it along.
I'd like to commend you, Nathan, and your staff seen, it's just, makes me feel good, makes me feel like I'm back 16 again, but be able to drive by those ball fields out there on Wilson Parkway at night, the lights is on and there's 3 or 4 fields going, and the parking lot's full, that's great, that's great.
Thank you. We really have a great crew. That's all I can say. Everyone has the same purpose, to do what's best for our city. And, so we appreciate the feedback. I think that's all I have of the report on our injured, crew member. He's doing well. He's wishing he could be back. He's down to get on a lawnmower. He just had a baby, so that has taken care of him so far. As many of you know, that cures a lot. So we're wishing the best for him. In the meantime, we've hired temporary Mr. Rico Carmichael, who's doing an outstanding job. So proud. He comes to work every day with a smile and just appreciates the opportunity. And so for all that, that's all I have. If you have any questions.
Yes, sir.
Nathan did not mention it, but since we last met, he did have a fishing rodeo, and we had a huge amount of kids there and parents, and it went great. Davey and his folks, they grilled hot dogs, so we had a good day that day, so wanted to mention that as well.
Yeah, Fishing Rodeo, again, was just a citywide event that a lot of folks really enjoy coming to. The park, Stone Bridge, and like Mr. Owen said, Chief Bergman and his folks did a tremendous job cooking our hot dogs. And I think even though we had, seemed like 10,000 kids out there, we still had some hot dogs left. A lot of fish were caught that day, so appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Then we'll move on to Planning and Codes Department, Director Gentry.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, Board. We are ready to do our code adoption this month. We will open Tuesday's meeting with a public hearing for the 2024 ICC codes. This public hearing was properly advertised in the June 24th edition of the Elk Valley Times. It is on the front page news section of our website and posted here at the municipal building on the front doors. We are required by the state of Tennessee to stay within 7 years of the last published code. So the 2018 codes that we're currently under were put in place June of 2020. So we're ready to move forward with the 2024 codes. Each of these codes must be approved separately by an ordinance. So all the ordinances should be on your iPads. They start at 2026-12 and go through 2026-22. I do want to, for minute purposes, just read each code that we'll be adopting. We will be adopting the building code, existing building code, fire code, fuel gas code, plumbing code, property maintenance code, mechanical code, residential code, swimming pool and spa code, and the electrical code. The only code that will not be moving to the 24 edition is the energy code. Per our state representative, we are not allowed to be more stringent than the state on the energy code, so we will remain on the 2018 until the state moves forward with adopting the new code. So that is the only code that will remain on the 2018 edition. So we'll open with the public hearing, and then you would, in regular business, move to adopt each one of these ordinances. Is there any questions on those codes? And Attorney Hill did review these ordinances, so we should be in compliance with them.
Okay, we'll move those on, Candace, to Tuesday, and they will have to be listed individually.
The other item that will also have a public hearing is ordinance 2026-23, and that's to amend the permit fee schedule. The chart that we are proposing did come out of the 2024 ICC building code as a recommendation. We crunched numbers, and Jack and Jill and myself looked and evaluated, and we think that that would be a good fit for our city. It would be some increase in revenue, and it would align us with the times. The last time that the permit fee schedule was amended was in 2021, but it was very minor changes, mainly just to clarify a formula. And but prior to that, the last major change was done in 2006. So we the time that it takes to process paperwork and do inspections would be too much for these types of permits, and those are things such as fences, decks, swimming pools. So all of those are also laid out in the ordinance, but they would have a set fee. So we would have the public hearing on that, and then in the regular business, that's where you would vote on ordinance 2026-23. Are there any questions on the permit fee schedule?
So this will be on the agenda separate to, the codes, the
Yes.
2024 code?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It'll be its own ordinance that would need to be adopted as well.
Okay. And just a quick question, on these, once we pass these, are they, the codes and the fee and the C1 changes, are those effective immediately?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, they would go, be adopted that night. We are actually working on all of our supplemental paperwork, our applications, placards, cheat sheets, getting all of that updated to the 2024 references. So all of that would go live. I do want to mention, over the past several months, when we've had people call in about future projects, we have made them aware of this. We've actually been preparing for this code adoption for about the last year. I started mentioning it. So they are aware. Now, if there is a current permit or a current job, they would finish out on the 2018 code because those are already approved and in the works. But anything future would be under these codes. And the last item is ordinance 2026-24 is the C1 zoning district update. That was also advertised with a public hearing, and would need to be adopted by this ordinance. This is, came up from the planning commission. We had 3 work sessions, got everything in place, added in some dumpster and storage container requirements and facade requirements for the C1 district, and then went through and updated the uses and special exceptions. This is the item that was presented last month, but we needed to call for the public hearing, so we are ready to vote on this ordinance this month for the C1 update.
So this one will also have a public hearing at the, prior to the agenda, and then vote for this in the meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions on the C1? Okay.
One item that we discussed in committee was the C2 update. We wanted to bring it to the work session to see if there was any more corrections, because we are going to take that back to the planning commission to add in special exceptions for the event centers and like the microbreweries and things that we had added in C1. We want to add that in C2 and give that opportunity. But since we're already having to move that back to planning, we wanted to let the board, a full board review to see if there was anything else that was wanted to be added. This, the C2 district is the main Huntsville Highway Strip, and then it does go down Fort and Taylor, out near the hospital and in that area. We did try to go through and duplicate the language for C1 as far as any verbiage that we had updated on the uses to make sure all the language would be the same, but we failed to add in the 2 special exceptions. So if there's any other changes that the board wants, we have to, since we're requesting a change, take it back to planning commission, get their blessing, and then it would come back next month to this board to call for a public hearing. But if you do have any recommended changes, you can just send me an email and I'll get that back to our planning commission.
And for the board, if you want to see what that C2 is, you can go to the planning and IT planning committee meeting, and it's in those documents. Do you have a deadline by where you want board? When's the next planning meeting? Planning commission meeting?
Tuesday, so I think it's the 8th. If I could have it by the end of next week, I'll have
Because
it.
community's July 30th.
Yeah, it's the Tuesday before, yeah, so it'll be the 28th. So as long as I have it by the end of next week, I will be good to be able to get that back to planning.
As you may have noticed, I don't know if you guys came in through the side entrance or downstairs to the elevator, we have new security system added for the staff here at the municipal building. They now use key cards to access certain entry points in the building. This allows for a safer workspace, ensuring that only city employees and approved guests may come into the building. The doors that have been completed are the 2 doors in the lobby area, the one going into the administrative area, and the other one going towards the mayor's office, towards the bathrooms. The door outside by the planning and codes and HR area has also been secured with that. And the 2 entry points downstairs, the elevator and the stairs downstairs, have key cards for our staff. If you guys need a more detailed report on the changes made for the municipal building in this regard, I can bring that up to you guys. I can write a report for you guys, a more detailed one. Next on the update, last month I spoke about a firewall that was hitting its end of life July 6th. I have successfully switched that one out with a new one with the help of C-Spire. Switching over to C-Spire for this firewall did help the city cut costs and provided us with a more improved firewall to help keep the city and its resources secure. The previous firewall we had was a Sonic Wall brand, and it would have cost around $3,000 to get a new one. And with support for it, we got a quote from them. Since we already have products with C-Spire, they were able to provide us with a new Cisco Meraki firewall. That was the brand, and it was around $1,000, if not a little less than $1,000 for that. Lastly, on my update, I have a copy of the IT disaster recovery plan I have submitted for you guys to look over and see if we can implement that for the city. It should be on your iPads. I know during our last committee meeting, Joseph and Dorothy had mentioned some things for me to add, and that has been added. If you guys need me to add anything else to it before the board meeting, please feel free to let me know from now to then. I'll be happy to add that on there. That is my update for the month. Do you guys have any questions?
I think we're going to vote on this, but if there's changes that, say you make after this is, does it have to come back to the board for you to make those changes? Or what's the process that we're adopting this plan?
So if you adopt a plan, this is the basic policy plan. There will be, if you make official modifications, you just will have to amend it after you approve it.
Okay, you can go now. Because my question has a little bit to do with yours.
It did. No, I would recommend to remove specific names.
Okay.
Just because if you do that, you're gonna have to go back, and anytime somebody changes, be it somebody that, this is Zach or Jerry or somebody like that they change positions, you're going to have to go in and amend it. So you can, I would maintain that as something in your database as far as those people, the points of contact, but I wouldn't mention my name, because then it just makes you, it's gonna cause you more work later on.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I will do that. Any other questions, recommendations? Thank you, guys.
And just a little note, Jonathan had the opportunity to put this into place on the 4th of July. We did have a breakdown, and Jonathan and Zach had to come down and spend some of their holiday trying to get everything up for the police department. So we know it worked because he was here Saturday evening for some time working it out, along with Zach. So
Yeah, it wasn't too crazy, but we're glad we were able to get it back up and running that day. Thank you.
We appreciate you keeping us up and running and up to date on everything. Thank you. Now we have finance department.
Good morning.
Director
Good
Burke.
morning.
Our first item is the Fayetteville City Schools Budget Amendment number 5 that we're looking to move to Tuesday night for your approval.
Any questions? Okay, we'll move those on, Candace.
Okay. Our next item is our budget amendment number 14. I did send that over yesterday afternoon, and the updated versions are on your iPads as well. There were just some GL changes that I needed to make, but no amounts changed from when they originally were updated. Just a couple of highlights for this is that the fire department received a rescue grant, and we're gonna be moving that to the grant fund. The police have a balance of the $7,000 that we talked about with the $36,000 that they received. So we're gonna take that $7,000 and we're going to move it to capital because they are planning to hopefully kind of pull together some funds to purchase the vehicle or some large equipment. So we are moving that, so that they can hold on to that remainder of their $36,000. And no funds have been taken from the fund balance at all, except for the bond funds that we had already previously approved. And that was for things like the Parks and Rec HVAC, the Corson RFID reader, and the repairs that were done at Station 2. So those are the highlights of the budget amendment. The rest are just cleaning up some of the funds expenditures.
On fire putting money into capital and wanting to hold on to it, how do we make sure nobody?
Police is gonna put.
Police, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Davey. I'm not giving you money.
Yeah.
Police, sorry.
So it's going into capital and it's going into a specific GL, not just
Okay, got
hanging
it.
out. It's going to a police GL.
Okay.
And so what we'll plan to do is put a PO in place or encumber that fund so that we know it's earmarked for them specifically.
Okay, perfect.
Yes. Any other questions about the budget amendment
So
itself?
this amendment is on the 26 year,
Yes, ma'am.
FY
Mhm.
26, so
Mhm.
just finalizing some things there.
Yes, just kind of cleaning up some things. Typically, there's one final one that's done the year end, so we'll see that next time around. But this takes care of the bulk of the things that we knew that we needed to take care of, especially with some of the grant revenues.
Okay, we're moving on to Tuesday, if everything's okay.
Okay. And then for my report, the fiscal year 27 approved budget was submitted to the comptroller's office on June 30th. And as of last week, revenue over expenditure for the general fund was estimated to be approximately $575,000. We have continued to receive some revenue in since that number, so we could see that going up probably closer to 625, which is great news, I think, for us.
Gives us a little breathing room.
It does,
Because we've
yes.
all been holding our breath.
Yes,
so.
it does, so I'm happy about that.
So I think we discussed this in finance, but just to clarify,
Mhm.
this is money that we are essentially, we underran on fiscal year 26,
Mhm.
and we're giving money, or putting money back into the general fund,
Mhm.
essentially a rainy day, where we performed well, there was cost-cutting measures that across the city happened,
Right,
so we are giving money back to that general fund
right.
in excess of $500,000.
Right, to the general fund balance, which is
That is
great news.
huge.
Yes, we really wanted
That's
that.
huge.
So it was twofold because our revenues were over the projected amount as well as our expenditures being under what we had budgeted. So that really helped us out a lot.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can continue suit for this year as well.
And I think that we can commend our department heads too on this.
Oh,
Because
definitely.
they looked at their budgets, looked at it again,
Mhm.
and kept costs down and saved where they could.
Mhm.
And so we appreciate them, learning their budget and knowing where they can save. So that really helps.
Yes, it made a huge difference, and a lot of them, put some things on hold last year that they knew they could maybe work with or make small repairs and things, and it really, that revenue over expenditure is a clear demonstration of them doing that, so.
Yeah,
I
and
agree.
it's also amazing that our employees are not only carrying out their job that they're doing, but they're also saving the taxpayer money while also doing their job, which is, I don't think we could ask for more.
No,
It's above and beyond, so thank you to everybody.
I agree.
Mayor, can I say two things too?
Yes, sir.
Also, when the board adopted partial payment, that helped out a whole lot to help some of the residents who could not make payments at once, so thank you all for allowing. And then I also want to give Candace kudos because she was on those property owners about giving taxes. We probably did maybe 4 times as much, reminding folks to get payments in, so she did a lot of efforts there, so I don't want to leave her out of the process as well.
Agreed. And we will be continuing the partial payments on,
Yes.
taxes.
Yes.
And that is to help the taxpayer.
And it helped us too.
Yes, and the collection efforts, sending out those notices again, I think made a big difference. We did that not just with property taxes, but we also did it with business licenses as well. So we did see a big change in doing that. So we plan to do that same thing again this year. Okay, and then finally, the taxes collected in June, our local option sales tax we received was $347,983. This was a small increase of 2.5% from last year. State share sales tax received was $80,158, and this also was an increase of 2.9% from last year. And our occupancy tax that we received was $9,970, and that was a decrease of 33.3% from last year. And that is all I have for you all, unless you have any questions.
Any questions? Finance?
I'd like to thank her for her hard work, because for her finance, her reports and stuff are outstanding.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm very fortunate to have her.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now we'll move on to administration. Kevin Owens.
Good morning, Mayor and Board. You have the general report as far as activities in June in your package, but looking ahead in July, we have already had a big fleet management meeting to start July, and we are planning to prepare a comprehensive report. You may recall back at the strategic planning that we said that by September we're going to try to have a comprehensive plan for the board to review. So we're working on that, and I do want to give a lot of kudos to Jack and Jonathan, because they're doing a lot of legwork beyond the meeting. So we are making progress. We met quite some time last week. Also, just to let the board know, we're working in the month of July about the state share tax. This is a long-going document. We're still looking in the background. We decided to bring this up as a result of our county city leadership meeting when Mayor Newman had some questions about it. So we're looking internally, and that includes a team of Johnny, Natalia, and Debbie. So we're kind of working on that to see where we are and what do we need to do. We're also working on several property issues right now, so we are hopeful to have some good news as far as property within the next 30 days. We have a team of economic development, and we are pretty much meeting weekly on that. That team consists of Debbie, Christy, and I. So we're meeting to try to get an economic development plan, which the city has not had one in a while. So we're trying to work on that. We're also working on city inventory. We have a meeting next week, and that's going to be between Natalia, Debbie, and I. So we're working on that. Even next Wednesday, we have a big comprehensive fire department, which we're looking at all of their fire equipment as well as buildings. So David, Brandon, and I will probably have a 4-hour meeting next Wednesday morning following the board meeting. Yesterday was the scheduled animal control meeting, which Mayor Hoffman as well as Newman and I and Commander Rodriguez, we're looking about an MOU. So we're working on that, and we're hoping to finalize that next week. I mentioned earlier that we'll be meeting all day Thursday about sidewalks. So we're hoping to tell you what we're going to do, not only about the sidewalks on the South Market, but as well as working on the east side as well as the north side. We are working on grants. We have a leadership team next week, so that's consisting of Natalia, myself, and Anna. So we're working on that. And finally, with two more things, we had news about the recent state legislation 8-44-112, which may change the way we receive public comments. We're hoping to have a recommendation to the board by August. I have looked at some state resources to see how we handle that in Fayetteville, so we're working on that. And the final thing is, Deb is not here today, but we're doing the procurement right now with the downtown improvement grant. That is due at the end of the month. So we will hopefully be naming, who will be our main, provider as we finish that particular grant. And that date is the 28th, so we should be able to finalize that for the August board session. And unless you have any questions, that's how we're looking going into the month of July.
Any news on Anthony?
We already, they did file for bankruptcy. They did not go through the auction. We don't know all of the details about what that means now, but their general manager and I have had a conversation about that. So they're in bankruptcy, so, they're still operating right now, as far as we're concerned. And we have, Candace, do you remember when the last tax, that's been one kind of recent.
The what is it?
Last time they reported or turning taxes, they did something within the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, it has been. They did pay their occupancy tax.
Yeah, and that was kind of, we had not had a lot of activity from them in a while, but we did hear something maybe 1st of June.
I think so.
Any more
Okay,
questions?
any questions for the city administrator? Myself and a few of the aldermen are going to the TML conference. It starts today and it'll go through Sunday. So I'm hoping that, I think TML was supposed to provide us with all the updated laws.
Right.
And the one that you mentioned is included in that also. It's about the public comment. So hopefully we'll learn some more information on that while we're there.
Great.
Okay, and then moving on to number 5, this is other, and this is going to the IDB Oversight Committee Board recommendation. I don't know if anyone from that committee wants to speak to this, or?
I can just say it's a county appointment, had a member that was unable to fulfill their full term, and they have brought Will Thomas forward for that. We've met with our combined groups and approved that, just bring it to the board. County's already approved it on their side, we just need to do it on ours at the meeting.
Okay, so, that will be on the agenda for Tuesday night to approve that recommendation. And it's my understanding that Will start, once approved here, he will start on the next meeting. They've been running a member short for a while, so that'll take care of that. So, anything else from the board that you'd like to discuss?
I'd like to ask a question about Mr. Owens' contract. We approved it in that special meeting. We haven't seen the contract. It was supposed to come to a vote from the full board.
We don't have a contract.
You don't, so that was what was elected, no contract? But we all
We
all want you. No mistake about that. But with the last words were that you would look at the contract and bring it forward. But if there is not one, and you're working without one.
Right.
Okay.
He hasn't had one.
Right, but we just did his evaluation and we never heard a final word on the actual.
Right.
Right.
We did the evaluation, and then I think it was gonna go back and, like you said, and, but right now it's just
Okay.
no contract.
We're not trying to run you out. I just wanted to know if there was one. We didn't hear. We didn't
Well, it sounds like Dorothy's trying to run it.
No, we didn't hear a final word. Stop it. And I just wondered if, yeah. Thank you for staying.